Well, it's been a while since we've had a true unboxing video, and I have in front of me a box. We're gonna be taking a look at the new Ecoflow Delta 2 today. Go through some of the features, specifications, what it can do, and we've also got a second box that goes with this, the expansion battery. Let's get to unboxing. So this is Ecoflow's newest portable power unit. What they say is not just a battery. If you guys want to check this out, I will put a link down in the description for you guys. And I do happen to have a discount code, which will be included there for you if you want to take a look at picking one of these up for yourselves. Let's get this unboxed and see what all the hype is about. Right on the top, we've got our instruction manual and warranty card. Let's take a look at some of the tech specs before we pull this out of here. We have a 24-month warranty, approximately 27 pounds or 12 kilograms. The dimensions are 15.7 inches by 8.3 inches by 11.1 inches. It has a 1,024 watt-hour capacity, but we do have the expansion battery for this. It has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It has a pure sine wave 1800 watt inverter at 120 volts, and it can surge to 2700 watts. Max boost 2200 watts. USB-A ports ×2, USB-A fast charge ×2, got USB-C ×2 at 100 watts. Car charger, which is a 10 amp, 126 watt max, two DC 5521 outputs that are 3 amps each. We got extreme fast charge up to 1100 watts. So you can really charge this thing fast off an AC source. Solar charging, 15 amp max, 500 watts. And then car charging supports 12 volts or 24 volt. Charging default is 8 amps straight. So they're using an LFP battery cell chemistry in this, which allows more cycles on the battery, 3,000 cycles to 80% capacity. You can charge it and discharge it once a day, every day, for almost 10 years. As far as pricing goes, I don't think I actually have pricing because this is being shot in advance of the release. I have a pre-release that Ecoflow sent me. Go down in the description, click on my link, and it will take you to the Delta 2 and the pricing, and you can get a discount if you use the code KCDelta2. And let's get this Delta 2 out of the box, and I'll pull the battery out of the box as well, and we can look at them side by side, and we'll do a size comparison against the Delta Max, and we'll test this out a little bit. Wow, okay, yeah, this is way smaller than the Delta Max. This is like, I'll show you guys. Just hang tight, a little later in the video, we'll go grab the Delta Max. And there's nothing else in the box but some packaging, some foam stuff. Oh, wait, I was wrong. Underneath the foam, we have, of course, we gotta have all the accessories and cables and such. So here we go. Pop this open, we'll see what else we get in here. And clearly I need to get a new unboxing knife. I haven't done an unboxing in a while. This is some junk snap-on knife that I got, and I don't know where I even found this, but it's not very good. The blade wobbles, it's not very sharp. Got our main power cable. So this is our AC power cable for plugging into the wall. And this is, you see these often, this is a standard PC power connector that you get for any computer, 3-prong connector. Maybe I'll look up here, but this is just a regular 3-prong connector, nothing fancy about that. Which is nice because it's not a proprietary power cable. And so if you lose that one, want a longer one, or want more of them, you can get those on Amazon for next to nothing, which is great. I really do like seeing companies using generic connectors, things like USB-C connectors, so that we don't have a million power cables, but as well using cables that are standard and easy to find, easy to get. And then we also have the 12 volt, and it uses, I forget what these little connectors are called. I just bought some. And so these are really nice because you can buy these connectors on Amazon if you want to make an extension to this. Because the solar panels use the same 12 volt connector as my Jeep when powering it, like I have an extension that goes into the back of my Ecoflow, and that extension is really accessible. So then I can plug the 12 volt connector into that extension, or I can easily unplug that and plug my solar panels in, which makes life a lot easier switching from the 12 volt onboard power on my Jeep to solar panels when we need to. And it's just too bad you can't plug solar panels and 12 volt in at the same time, but this is what we got. And it's a nice standard connector that you would see on a lot of different things. You can pick these up really easily on Amazon. I had no problem finding one to make that extension cable. Then we've got these little barrel connector adapters. I'm honestly not sure what people use these for. They go on a little 3 amp port on the Deltas, on the Ecoflow Delta Max, Delta 2. I don't know, like, is this to keep something low power running, or something that needs constant low power to be able to switch over to high power? I don't know. If you guys know, I'll put this up here so you guys can see, but if you know what these things are for, let me know, because I haven't found a use for them yet. All right, here we go. We have the Delta 2. So you can see by me just whipping this thing around, it is not very heavy at all. And it is much, let me get a good side view here, much smaller. This is like half the size of the Delta Max, which is 2000 watts. Now this has a little bit smaller inverter in it, but honestly, I haven't really found many devices that need more than 1800 watts. That's a pretty extreme load for a single device. Maybe if you're using many devices all at once. So there's our 11 to 60 volt. This is basically what we're gonna be using for 12 volt. And then this is where our solar panels go, our power from our Jeep or whatever. We're bringing 12 volt in, DC power. So basically DC power. We've got our AC power that we plug into the wall or something else that's supplying 110. And then we've got our reset switch in case we trip one of our breakers in here. And then we've got our 4 2-prong AC ports and our 2 3-prong AC ports. Say that 10 times fast. We've got our on and off switch, which I really wish Ecoflow would put this on the front. But I think with the Bluetooth app, this will make it a lot easier to turn on and off and have the app always connecting quickly. But I wish these were all on the front, just for me, mostly just because of the way I use it in my Jeep, and I have this tied down and secured, that it would be nice to not have to reach around it to turn these on and off. And then we've got our 12 volt right here, which is 10 amps, 12 volts. And then we've got the switch to turn on the DC ports. So we've got the 2 smaller barrel connectors, and we've got our larger 12 volt connector. Let's flip this around, take a look at the other side, some branding. We have our fans. So we've got our fans on the side here, and on the Delta Max, these do kick on if you have a high load or you're charging it at that 1200 watts. And Ecoflow was kind enough to, I'm not sure if you can see this right in there, it's kind of an odd spot to put the sticker, but we've got a 2D barcode that will take you to the app to download and put on your mobile device or tablet so that you can connect up to this. On the other side, we have our extra battery port. So we'll take a look at this in a second. I'm gonna guess we've got our cable in our extra battery box that we'll unbox in a moment. And we can plug this into the side to expand out the capacity of this. I don't actually know how many watts are in the expansion battery. We'll have to pop that open, take a look at the instructions to see just how many more watt hours we get out of that. And then on the front, we have our LCD screen. We have some USB ports that we talked about. So we've got our USB-A ports, regular wattage and fast charge. We've got our 100 watt USB-C ports, which is great, especially for powering higher wattage devices, maybe like your MacBook or something like that, but also can charge your mobile phone really quickly. And we've got our toggle switch right here. And then we've got our main power switch. So let's unbox that expansion battery, and then we'll fire all this up. So this is pretty light as well. It says the box weight is 9.7 kilograms, so that's probably about 20 pounds. And we'll get our knife that needs to be replaced out. Okay, and just as with the Delta 2, we've got our instruction manual sitting on the top. And let's just quickly take a look at the tech specs of this, find out what the capacity is. Okay, user manual. So Delta 2, smart extra battery. I thought when I first looked at it, it said extra smart battery. I was gonna say, what is an extra smart battery? But smart extra battery, 9.5 kilograms, so about 21 pounds. Dimensions, 15.7 by 8.3 by 11.1 inches. Capacity, here we go. So it is another 1024 watt hours. And this is also the same cell chemistry, it's LFP, and it has the same 3,000 cycles for its life, which is great. We have a 24-month warranty card with this as well. All right, and look at that. This looks to be exactly the same size, just with less connectors on it. And that's all there is in the box. So I'm wondering, how do we connect this up to the Delta 2? Well, we have our charging port or connectivity port on the side, so we need to get the cable. We've got something on the top here. Silica gel, and look at that. We have a nice little storage location for our charging cable or our connection cable to connect these two batteries together. Very nice, I like that. I don't have to worry about where my cables are. It would be really cool if the Delta 2 had a similar style holder on the top to be able to store various cables like USB cables and things we might plug in. Okay, let's get these side by side. They are exactly the same size and dimensions. Let's take a look at this, and then we'll get our phone paired up. We'll get the two connected to each other and check out the charging rates. See how much capacity actually comes with this out of the box. 30%, look at that. And then we've got the other battery, also 30% charge out of the box. Now we can't actually charge this second battery without connecting it to the Delta 2. Get our AC charging cable, which we will plug into the back of this. Flip up our little plastic cover, which has a little click that keeps it up so it's not flapping down on you. You can see it's suspended. So now, should be charging, right? Oh, there we go. I just heard something click over. Slowly figuring things out. Recharging time. So there we go. 1200 watts. You can hear those fans kick on because it is charging at its max charging rate. And it's going to give us an approximate time of 51 minutes to charge this up to 100% from 30%. Or what happens if I plug in the expansion battery? We'll turn it off first. I want this on. Grab our connector cable out of the roof here. We may have to unplug this from charging while we're shooting just because of the fan noise. We're already up to 34%. Honestly, the fan is not that loud. I just know that the camera microphones pick everything up really loud. And we've got our connector cable is about 40.5 inches. If you're planning on putting the expansion battery somewhere else, you'll know you've got about 40 inches or so to work with. The port on the extra battery is on its right side, and the port on the Delta 2 is also on its right side. So you have to either put them in line with each other. I guess that makes sense if you're lining them up like a train, that makes sense. But if you're putting them side by side, they're opposite from each other. So I guess it's just, you can't really get a perfect solution for that other than putting ports on both sides. And you cannot mess these up. They only go one way. They have a little circle on one side, a square on the other. I'm just gonna pop that in there. Can't really screw it up. If you're planning to put two of these, you've got 40 inches, but it just kind of depends on the orientation of your two Ecoflow devices. And because of the cable being on the side, you can't put these right next to each other anyways, but that 40-inch long cable gives you lots of room to wrap that around the back. Let's see what we got. Let's turn this guy on. Got them both on, and right here we've got it telling us that we've got the extra battery connected. We notice a little, notice here this little icon popped on, and it looks like it's trying to level the other battery out and share and get them both at the same capacity right upon plugging them in. So this one's at 36%, this one at 30%, but we can see there's 48 watts, 46 watts going out, 46 watts coming into that. So it's doing something to level the two of them out because this now has 36% after plugging it into the wall. There we go, we see it ramp it up, and it's it's gonna send a whole lot more power output as well. So we've got 1200 watts coming in, but we're sending 440 watts out through our connector cable to our expansion battery. And we've now got an estimated 1 hour to charge our Delta 2 and 2 hours to charge the Delta Max, the expansion battery. What I want to do is I'm going to charge up the Delta 2 to 100% and see how fast it charges the expansion battery, because right now we can only charge up that expansion battery at 400 watts. And so if you're wanting to top off your expansion battery before going out somewhere, is it only going to charge it at 400 watts, even if your Delta 2 is at max? All right, the Delta 2 is now charged to 100%, and let's plug in the second battery and see just how many watts it will charge with. This is still plugged into AC at 100%, and we've got, looks like it's going to transfer all of its power over 800 as it kicks up, 900. We are sending almost all of the charging wattage over to our secondary battery, so this will charge from 36% to 100% in about 49 minutes. So that answers my question about whether or not this charges at a reduced rate. It looks maybe like 10% less going to the secondary battery than what you're drawing off the off your AC power. So we're getting 1200 watts in and we're sending almost 1100 watts out to the secondary battery. If you unplug it, it stops charging it, it seems. Although it was charging it a little bit earlier, so I'm not sure exactly what the program is for charging the other one, but if this is at 100% and this is not, it doesn't look like it's sending anything over to it. So I just unplugged this. I want to take a look at the app and see just how easily it connects up using Bluetooth, which should be a lot smoother than Wi-Fi. Once you get the app loaded on your Android or Apple, I have an Android, you can open it up and right away it's saying new unit found. So I didn't have to do anything and it's showing it found it over Bluetooth. So we'll just add that. There we go, we've got what I assume is our Delta 2 because it doesn't actually say Delta 2 next to it. Now this could be just that the app hasn't been updated for release and it doesn't have the Delta 2 name in here yet because I'm shooting this before release. And I did notice that with the Wave that it had a, I guess, SKU or some sort of part number that it used to show the Wave, and then once the Wave was released, the apps got updated and it shows it as Wave now, but you can rename these anyways. It shows us the capacity of our main battery as well as our second battery, and it actually shows us the temperature that those batteries are running at, which is neat. And you can see in here input, output. Right now neither is going on. If we plug this in, it would show that we are charging it, so you can check the charging rate and we can see what it is inputting from AC, solar, or extra battery. And then output, we can toggle the inverter, the 12 volt DC, and the USB port. So we can go in here and now they are all turned on. See that the 12 volt on the back is turned on, the USB is turned on, it's illuminated here, and the inverter is turned on. Now let me show you a couple cool settings in here. If we go into the little cog up at the top, you can change the AC charging speed, and you can bring that down so that it is not tripping your inverter. And then you can set your smart generator setting. We can toggle our unit timeouts. I set this to never because it's usually in my vehicle running my fridge. AC timeout, I like 12 hours because I can leave it on overnight without it timing out and have it ready in the morning, and I don't have to go in and turn on the inverter. The inverter does passively draw some watts off of the unit. Now the Delta Max 2000 watt weighs about 50 pounds, so it's much harder to move around. It's much larger than the Delta 2 or the original Delta, but here's a side-by-side. We'll zoom this out a little bit. Here you go. But there's a side-by-side comparison if you want to see the two. There's a top-down look. You can get an idea of the dimensions. These two right here have about the same watt hours as the Delta Max 2000. They're both about 2000 watt hours, just different formats. But this does not use the newer LFP batteries, neither does the Delta 1, so they're limited to about 800 charge cycles before they will start to deteriorate. I've just brought the Delta 2 out to the tailgate of my Jeep. I just want to see how fast it'll charge off the 12 volt. I've got the 12 volt cord right here that I made with one of these connectors that they use. They're really easy. They're XT60 connectors, really easy to find on Amazon. And I've got it running to a circuit that runs directly to my battery. We need to dissipate the battery down a little bit. Sounds like a good time to make a coffee. And this is one of the most common things that I use my portable power system for from Ecoflow is making coffee with my Nespresso when I'm out camping. Draw usually around 1,000 watts to make our espresso, and we're at 96% right now. 2% to warm up and make an espresso pod. There we go. We went down to only 93% for that second espresso. So that's kind of my benchmark. I'm gonna run this down to below 80% because I want it into its, I want it down to where it will draw the most for charging. So I'm gonna just go find a couple random things and plug it into it and run it and drink this coffee. What I decided to plug in and charge was the Delta Max. We've got our Delta Max is only at 32%, and we're gonna charge that up with our Delta 2. So once we've run our Delta 2 down to 70%, I'll try charging it off the 12 volt, and I'll show you guys if it charges any faster off a 12 volt receptacle versus directly to your vehicle's battery. Okay, we got our first connector. This is connected to the vehicle's 12 volt power. We should be getting a charge here. Getting about 75 watts of input off the vehicle. So that's 8 amps. And we've got this set to the 8 amp input off car input. I'm not sure how it tells the difference, but we'll see if there's a difference going directly to the battery. And this one here I've got wired into a fuse panel that goes directly to the battery. Really not really any difference directly off the batteries. Playing around a little bit. We'll see what we can figure out in the future with this. The Delta 2 just released today. Go check out the link in the description below and make sure you use code KCDelta2. It's there in the description as well if you want to pick one up and get a discount. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I upload new videos every week. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video.